What's up guys, Gabriel Varga here. Today I'm doing a breakdown for you of 3 techniques that'll help you cover distance very quick so you can get from here to here, throw a technique and surprise your opponent by landing from an exceptionally far distance. That is the topic today. Now guys, I want to give you 3 somewhat unique techniques today. Obviously the easiest way for me to move from here to here is just come forward and throw my jab. Just cover distance like that. But for me, generally, I try to maintain a certain range away from somebody. Let's say they're standing right around here. They're standing right by the Bellator belt. I generally will not back up way to over here and try to land a shot. For me, from there, getting that jab off from that distance is a pretty ridiculous amount. My shoulder's already in front, jumping forward and trying to land. There, I'm hardly even pushing through. That wasn't enough of a push. I have to do a very exceptional long push, and for me, I don't like that. So there's 3 techniques in particular which we're going to talk about today to help you cover that ground exceptionally quick. 2 are punches and 1 is a kick. Guys, before we go any further, I've been getting so much love from the viewers. Throw me some more if you don't mind. Give the video a like. Get subscribed if you have not already, and let's move on to the first technique which I want to talk about, and that is the Thai side kick. We're going to do our kick very first. We'll follow with the 2 punches after. The reason I like the Thai side kick so much, personally for me, when I'm sparring, this is when I find it's most effective. I haven't utilized it loads and loads in my fights yet, and that's just something, that's just that understanding that if we perform up here in the gym, we perform like that in the ring. It's just, we're never our best self. So I've never got to show exactly how good I am yet. I'm getting there, but hopefully one day I will master and be able to show all the techniques I'm fantastic at. But one of them is the Thai side kick. Now let's talk quickly about the technique behind the Thai side kick. And I want you to keep your eye on this row of belts. That's going to sort of be our indicator for distance. So very rarely I'm going to be standing right here and I'm going to be within distance to just pop up my front kick. I'm usually more like back here where I'm out of range. That means that this foot that I'm standing on, whether I throw a front kick or a side kick, I am not going to reach that. I have to do some sort of movement forward. And instead of having to shuffle step, bring my feet together or cross step or anything like that, we can utilize the Thai side kick. You can do one of 2 ways here. You can either keep your foot completely stationary, and what I do is I lift and then I pump my hips through. It's a very particular technique. We'll run through it in a second. Or if I want to cover a lot more distance, my hands are up and I slide my standing leg on the ground. And look at how much distance I can cover there just like that. This is one of those techniques where I can get my opponent like way far away. If I'm way over there, that's me. And my opponent's way over here, they're comfy. They're just relaxed. They think they're safe. And then I slide in and I hit them in the stomach with this technique. I'm using the ball of the foot. It kind of digs in there. And I can tell nobody likes getting hit with this technique. And it comes so fast. So let's break down right from the beginning how we do this very quick. What we're trying to do here is we're trying to lift exactly like a front kick. Shoulders fairly square. Leg up just like I'm going to throw a front kick. The pivot of my foot is pretty much normal for a front kick, but as I start to extend outward, my whole body starts to turn. It starts to turn, it starts to turn, and then I get to more of a hybrid side kick where I'm not pulling like this, but I'm actually landing with the ball of my foot. My pivot has increased to almost max, and with my body turned over, look at how much more distance I get. That's my front kick. That's my Thai side kick. Front kick, Thai side kick. And people who think they're safe from that front kick, that regular front kick distance, are not. So again, just watch the technique here from square on. I lift my leg up. As I extend outwards, my body twists and I snap through. I never pull this kick back in the sense that it hits and then I try and rechamber it. I hit them and my foot moves through. Nobody's standing their ground on this kick. So I always practice up and through, but I still land back in my normal stance because I don't let my weight fall forward. It's just boom. If you guys want a more detailed breakdown of the Thai side kick, let me know. I'll put a whole episode together just talking about it. I could spend easy 10-15 minutes breaking this down, showing you guys video footage of myself and other people utilizing it. But from here, I want to move on. I want to move on to sort of what I call a Mike Zambidis hook. Now, Mike Zambidis, amazing fighter from Greece from back in the heyday of the K1 Max era, he was a very short fighter, I believe only 5'6", and somehow he would close distance on much larger fighters by utilizing the technique that I'm going to show you today. So what he did, again, same thing. We're keeping those belts in mind as the target area. I'm back here, I'm out of range. He would keep his knees fairly bent, kind of like Mike Tyson, sort of down here, ready to spring. But instead of just standing here and trying to jump in with the lead arm hook, he would end up moving around and he would lower. He would basically cock his shoulders to this position. It could be off a cross as a fake, or he might just be here and he might just go here. And then from that position, he explodes forward and throws that left hook. So from square on, it looks something like this. My hands are up, I'm moving around, I'm bobbing a little bit. I get to here with that opposite shoulder in front, and then I spring. And the amount of distance I can cover is crazy. Just moving around, very bouncy, waiting for the opening. And very, very exceptional technique in the amount of distance it can cover for a hook, which is shorter than a jab. Now, of course, yes, you could just make this into a jab instead, but for me, I've found that the hook is far more powerful. Every time I've seen people throw this in fights who are successful, they use the hook instead of the jab. So I would suggest you try the hook to cover that massive distance, but still maintain power. And finally, guys, one of the trickiest punches that I will ever show you is a step through cross. This sounds like something that you shouldn't do. It sounds like something that might be from karate. Step through cross. It's not that. It's something that Floyd Mayweather has got down, and I actually started using it because of him. I don't use it too often in my fights because it is a little bit more dangerous with kicking and knees as opposed to just strictly boxing. But when I do throw it, I'm always surprised at how effective it is. Now, it's a combination of footwork and throwing across. Now, the first thing that we need to recognize here, I'm going to turn this direction, is my back leg is going to be doing a step through motion. I'm just going to be doing a full step through, but I obviously don't want my head right here. If I step towards you with my cross and I have my head right in the center, I'm walking right into a possible punch. So what he does when he throws it, he's here, he's moving around, he's bobbing, he's weaving, as he steps and he drops his head to the side for a slip. And then he rolls under in case anybody hooks at him. So he ends up to the outside. Now the footwork is the back leg doesn't step straight forward like you're walking. It steps out slightly on a 45. He lands his shot, his foot has scooted off to the side. As I take the 45-degree angle and I throw my punch, which I dropped with, then I can slip out and then adjust my feet accordingly. So I end up in this angled shot where nobody can, from here, land on me, and I'm completely off to the side. So from the front, instead of just stepping straight through, I step out on a 45. I'm down here, I'm moving around, a little step, 45 degrees, and then roll under and angle off. And the amount of distance that we can cover, again, keeping the belts in mind. If I'm way back here, I can't land my jab, I can't land my cross, I'm moving around, I'm doing my faking, and then boom! And I'm out of there. I land that super long thing just by taking my back leg, making it to my front leg. I throw my shot there, I land to the jaw, I take my angle. The amount of distance that we can cover is exceptional. It's just about staying really loose and covering that distance in just a split second. I'm here, I'm moving, and then whoop! And look at that. Look at how much room I can cover. So much more than my traditional jab, where I'm more like that. On this one, instead of the jab, I do the step, and I cover so much more room in one split second. For me, if I had to list these in order of preference, I would go number 1, Thai side kick. I can do this from so far away. People are so surprised at it, and I'm super, super safe. Next, I would do the jumping hook. I like the lead arm hook, just so for me, that's something I'm obviously gonna love. And finally is, I'm gonna call it the Mayweather step through cross. It is exceptional, but again, a little more dangerous for kickboxing. I only really throw it when I'm doing boxing sparring. I don't think I've really ever tried in kickboxing. I get a little shy doing it then. But those are the 3 techniques, guys. I hope you enjoyed this little breakdown of these ways to move forward on people exceptionally fast, so we're just surprising them out of nowhere. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you give it a like. If you haven't, get subscribed. Guys, train hard, and I'll see you back here soon for another video.